Hey, it's Empress Rose, and welcome to our collective reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. Any interaction with the channel is fabulous, wonderful. Like, subscribes, emojis, shares, all of that, really great. And I'd also like to extend a big thank you to Isabel and Pooja for their recent Square donations. There's a little donate box, and those were really beautiful and gratefully received. I did lay the cards out already today, and there was an interesting story. I wasn't quite sure what to do with it, so I did start already without you. Sorry. So at first was take a break. This actually confused me. I was like, are you talking to me? Yeah, you're talking to me, but maybe not right now. But take a break. So I wasn't quite sure if I was going to go ahead with this today, but life's a work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So taking a break from some sort of maybe even anything, drama in your head, fearful experience, something, looking at the rest of these cards. It's like a break, taking a break from something is actually quite key. Like if you've been pushing really hard on something, this might be time to take your foot off the gas for a little bit. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So this could be like relationships you need to take a break from. This could be a situation where you need to just take a step back from the situation. So establishing better boundaries, removing your energy from, not just giving yourself away to everybody, everywhere, but like putting a stop to something. There's almost, honestly, like a little bit of thought stopping here because there's fear on the table as well. So you could be having better boundaries with your own self, with your own mind. As far as I don't want to think that way, I don't want to entertain those thoughts. But it could also be better boundaries with social media, better boundaries with something that's really pulling at your attention and very draining. So you're taking a break from something that's been draining you, and you might have to be a little strong with your boundaries or just no, not right now. It honestly is reminding me of a mom like who just needs to go to the bathroom and is just got kids crying outside the door, little fingers underneath the door, and you're just like, not right now. I just need a minute to, clear my own body out and take care of myself. But then what's funny is what comes in next is call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. You're not going to be doing this alone. There's going to be little kids with you or something. But it's not necessarily then about being totally alone and taking a break from, it could be taking a break from a group to just focus on one relationship. That's what it looks like, because it is like this one other person, deep emotional connection, mirror, someone who's very similar to you, mirroring. Yeah, and if you struggle to put up some boundaries, do ask for help is what it seems like. If you're struggling with something, this could be even like take a break with somebody, like go on vacation with a friend. Don't answer your emails or just having some time away from this, uber connectedness that we have with everybody in our lives and everybody outside of our lives, the whole world. We're connected to everybody's trauma everywhere in the world. It's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And we all have so much going on in our personal lives. And then we have this global issues that are concerning. So there is a sense of like, take a break from it all and like run away with somebody else and turn your phone off. That's a little bit of the vibe I'm getting with these three cards. Don't run off by yourself necessarily, but run off with somebody else to take a break from all of this, from the personal stressors and the work stressors and the group stresses and then the big group global stresses. It looks like there's fear here, and that's why I think we're taking a break, is that we need to give ourselves a break from fear, from these things that terrify us and frighten us. And this always, to me, looks like something online. Like, and this one's conquering their fear. But I'm almost seeing like a way to conquer fear is to not engage with it. Not necessarily like face your fears and then overcome them and take huge leaps forward. Just with this take a break, it's like take a break from something that's making you afraid. And it could be online stuff, because there's all these birdies online, and this is you stepping away from that. Now you may be afraid to, especially with this boundary cards here, like if I step away, what's going to happen? Because boundaries like that can be really difficult to set, because we do have this fear that, like, if this what could happen while I'm unplugged here? What could happen while I'm unplugged? That would be a funny idea. Like we're all like robots that are plugged in, but in a little bit of a way we kind of are. So, there could be some fears about stepping away from the group, is actually what I'm seeing here with this boundaries card. And it's usually like this scarecrow is meant to scare the crow. And this is the one crow that has the courage and the bravery to step away and actually approach what it is they fear, and actually, in a way, conquer their fear, right, on top of it. But with these other cards here, I kind of see more of a stepping away from those things that are making us afraid. It doesn't have to be permanent. It's just for a time, taking a break from. It really does look like maybe a social media break or a media break at all. And having some better boundaries about when you want to be exposed to certain stressors, and when you're ready to deal with them, So release here, we have a sort of a letting go. And to me, it really does relate to everything here. The boundaries too, of releasing sort of the results or the consequences of setting up boundaries, and like what you can do, what you choose to do. I have to do what I want to do, what I need to do. And boundaries aren't about telling other people how to live and what you need to be doing to please me. Obviously, I mean, to me that's obvious, but it's not obvious to everybody. Boundaries are about what I'm willing to put up with, and here's how I need to take care of myself. And I'm going to say no to this. I'm going to refuse to engage with this or something. So there's almost like a leave it, let it go. Let it go. And leaving something behind, releasing your fears. This is all so much easier said than done, right? But moving on from something and just letting it go, not just, it's a big process actually, but letting something go and leaving it behind. This release. They're letting this one deal with what it is they need to deal with, and they're moving on. So in a way, that can also be good boundaries. Like if somebody's very obsessed with something, very hyper focused on something, and maybe it's a very fearful thing. So I feel like there might be someone here who's really locked in with a fear scenario. And there are others that need to go. And I think you could be letting, it's actually coming in the other way now. I think you're letting other people leave. They're leaving, and you're down here focusing on yourself. You're taking a break. They're going off to work, and you're gonna take a break here. You're not gonna engage with that really. You're not moving. In a way, you're moving, and in a way, you're staying in the same place. It's really interesting, because here you are out on a limb, kind of isolated, and here you are, I see this is you, like you're kind of isolated down here, focused on your own path, on your own journey. All these other are online. All these others are busy doing stuff. You are focused. I feel like this is you. You're focused. You're very focused. Maybe you're being what's released. You're afraid, and maybe you're afraid of being let go. And that if you establish boundaries, you'll be left behind. Yeah, I think it's like if you establish some boundaries here, you might be afraid that you'll be left behind. But in fact, you're the one doing the leaving, because you're the one stepping out of line. You're stepping out of the line. And this has to do with boundaries. You're like, I'm not participating in that anymore. I don't want to feel this fear anymore. and you're letting something go. It's like you're okay. You're okay. If everybody goes to the party and you stay home, you're okay. It's okay. You're fine, but you're not alone at all. You've got this other person here. You've got this other person. Yeah, and when they came out together, it was just like releasing fear, not being afraid of setting up boundaries, not being afraid of saying what you need out of a situation, not being afraid to step away for a time if that's what needs to happen. And then, so here's what changed my mind about doing this reading or not, because I was like, take a break. Is that me? Because I am a little overloaded right now. But here we have, these two came out together and I was like, I have to show you this. I can't just let this go. The perfect key, you're going to find, and this deck actually has quite a lot of key references. You're going to find the key to something. You're going to find the answer. And then it came out with secrets. You're going to unlock something. Look at all the options here. There's quite a few options. This is actually reminding me of Seven of Cups. You know, quite a few options here. Both of them have 5 keys. Actually, it's the same. It's like collage art. And so we have the same exact key ring right here. Here, this bird has it. That bird with the green and the blue reminds me of like speaking from the heart, but she's in the yellow. So this has to do with purpose. The heart wanting to open something up, wanting to open up perhaps to somebody, perhaps to somebody else, and finding a way to do that. Like these boundaries though, boundaries can be really great. Boundaries are really great, but if they're too strong, they keep people out. So we could be finding a way to open up about something, finding a way to let go of our fears, finding a way to open up your heart is very clear here. A way that's true to you, a way that's authentic. And it has to do with speaking up too. A way that's authentic and true to you, and finding that way, finding that perfect way to do that. There are things here yet to be revealed. And I just found it so fascinating that there were these 2 locks here. It could be 2 people unlocking each other's potential here. But there are these like 2 locks, and it's very emotional. And there's a strong foundation here. There's a sense of a very strong foundation, but the secret, finding the way to unlock the secret, to figure it out, to release the heart from its cage, finding a way to do that. To maybe open up. Maybe there's something you want to open up about. Maybe someone else needs to open up to you. Interesting. I kind of feel like there might be, like with this boundaries card and this card, it's almost like there's too big of a boundary between 2 people. There's a really big boundary, or there's a secret that needs to be unlocked here between 2 people to share it, and somebody here. So now I'm starting to feel that maybe you're not the one with really big boundaries. Maybe somebody else has really big boundaries, and you're figuring out how to open something up, or how to access, how to break through some kind of barrier here with somebody else. The boundary may be because there is a secret present. And so if you're like struggling to connect with somebody that normally you would want to connect with, and the boundary seems a little strange, it could be because they have something that they're not sharing right now. But it looks like it will be opened up. Something is being released and let go of here. And it could be that you go, on vacation with someone or take a break with someone, and you find out, there's something in that situation that breaks down a boundary and a barrier that sometimes these cards, like when I do the general like this, the cards like almost like create a web together. Like they're all so interrelated. And then as I'm reading them, it's like, oh yeah, this is like this, and this is like this, and this is like this, and this means this. But then as the more cards come out, they shift the meaning of the other cards. And it's not like the first reading, it's not like the boundaries weren't like, you need to have some good boundaries, take a break and like turn off your phone or do some good boundaries. And now I'm seeing like this, maybe somebody has put up a boundary or a barrier between you, is keeping a secret, and that secret is being opened up. And the secret may have caused some fear. So it's not that those are two opposing ideas, it's that the cards like do a lot of layering and do a lot of meaning, now and later meanings, right? Where we can get something out of it right now. And then as kind of things go on, we're getting something else out of it. But it's not that the first piece of guidance was incorrect. It's that there's just so much more to it, and the secret here. So don't be afraid is what I'm seeing, and open up to somebody, but respecting boundaries, or someone's opening up to you, but you need to not be afraid. All right. Tiger breathing bear. From the bottom of the deck, we have 4 of fire. Leveling up. A promotion. A commitment. A celebration. It's public. It's celebration. It's a shareable. It's a shareable commitment. It's a shareable leveling up. It's not, this is not a secret. 4 of fire. This is public knowledge. This is promotions, and maybe it's somebody else's promotion and you know about it and you heard about it and you're celebrating it. There's a, yeah, congratulations is, and that's the underlying. So that's already happened for somebody, is some kind of something to congratulate them on. You or somebody else, but a new level of hitting a new level. And there's cause for celebration here, and there has been. Past, present, inner landscape. What's the issue? Environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Oh my gosh, Tiger Breathing Bears deck just never ceases to crack me up. So 5 of Earth. This is actually where we left off a couple weeks ago. That's in your past though. Okay, you've already experienced the loss. You've already experienced the feeling left out. You've already experienced a shedding. You've already experienced this. So that's nice to have that in the rearview mirror now, since I don't know if it was the last reading or reading before that, but so 5 of Earth, there's been some loss. It was like divinely directed. It was like, and now you will lose $1,000. Bing. And now you will lose your 4 tires. That's what that was for me, is losing my tires, and a bunch of money. And so, yeah, so here we have the loss, the floating down. What's going on here? Where did I see this? There's the feathers, the drop of the feathers. I swear it was on the table already. Was it this? Was it this release, letting go, leaving something behind, right? And we left something behind. We released something. It's back there. It's down there. Current situation is 2 of flowers. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. It's just like a very repetitive situation here, which I like. It's this underlining. Here's this release. The release has already happened. It was a release that you were afraid of, that you were worried about. It has already happened. But look at this, the 2 of flowers, 2 of cups, and these 2 right here. This loss has brought people closer together. So there's an intimate conversation that you're having with someone, possibly even right now. It's very fruitful. There could be a little bit of loss associated with the conversation, though. It's not, but there's also so much potential being born out of this conversation. There's a lot of potential, a lot of sweetness. A lot of sweetness coming out. I'm focusing really in on this bee right here that's cross-pollinating them. So an exchange of ideas But then we have this sweet sweetness, this honey that's coming. I have this honey coming. and the cross-pollination, the sharing of ideas, the sharing, don't do it alone. You're in this with somebody. And we got that earlier about crossing a threshold with somebody. So we have this sweetness, we have this cross-pollinating idea. There's almost a sexual element to this. We can say that. And boy, poppies, they are, before they bloom, they just look like testicles. And yeah, they're very short-lived. So this is making me think this is, though, a conversation or a moment that was shared where things got inspired, I want to say. And I mean that both, like, that could both be physically inspired, and that could also be like just intellectually inspired ideas, sharing of ideas to create the future, really. And then your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape. This is, so tiger breathing bear, this is Nine of Flowers. It's wanting to be happy with yourself, wanting to provide yourself with a happy ending. So wanting to be proud of who you are. So you are currently showing up somewhere with another individual, and you want to be happy with who you are, with how you act and behave in this. You want to be proud of yourself. You want to be excited about who you are. And it might be, you know, visioning a future where you're happy, visioning a future where you receive what you want. There's a limited amount of time I feel like I can show that card. But it is about self-satisfaction. It is about imagining what you want. And it doesn't have to be a sexual connotation, even though obviously we have. But that's the erect male member can be a metaphor. So usually we're living in this world where everything's a metaphor for an erect male member, right? That's what she said. But this is like the erect piece of male anatomy is a metaphor for your happiness, imagining a future you love, and being proud of who you are. So that's what we're seeing. It always gives me the giggles. I don't know. I'm like a little middle school kid here. It's like, oh, but I think that's the point of it, is like you want to be happy. You want to giggle. So next to the Two of Flowers, it's just like you are hoping you show up as your best self in this connection, in this relationship. The monster, there's a, we're putting the monster down. The monster's putting his, something's not as scary as it once was. Where, I put a piece of paper over here, but I think I left it someplace else that would have helped with this. But the monster is in reverse. So to me, reading this card just intuitively, there's a time out from the big scaries. There's something that was really scary to go into, perhaps, and has now proven to be not quite as scary as you thought it was going to be. Not quite as scary here. So I see like feeling left out or feeling abandoned or feeling losses. Really not feeling like there's potential, not feeling like there's a future, not feeling like there's enough, feeling that lack in the past. But you're hatching some sort of plan with somebody. You're going to do something here with somebody. You're cross-pollinating, you're getting your ideas. So if this was a relationship, you maybe felt left out for a little bit or for something, and then but you're connecting. You want to show up as your best self. And it's not as scary as it once felt. And that's what this crow has discovered, going to the scarecrow, this thing that its very name is to be scary. And this isn't that scary. This big scary thing, it's like you're getting to see some sort of underside, or like you know, the big scary part was actually a cover up for some sadness, some sorrow, some confusion. I feel like just this anger draining out and this frustration in a situation just draining out. And there might have been a lot of like, I want to say there might have been a lot of like posturing. There might have been a lot of posturing. And that's not happening anymore. It's just like a little more real. Actually, all of this posturing, we're releasing the posturing that was created through fear, and we're putting our hands down and we're releasing the fear. Okay. So there's this idea that you don't have to put up a front anymore, or somebody's not fronting anymore. Like, oh, I know everything. I know what I'm doing. Oh, be scared. This is sort of like, we've had a little bit more of a genuine conversation here. And somebody's either not trying to scare you anymore, or they're not scared. They're just not appearing scary anymore. It was just, the smoke and mirrors are dissipating, and you're starting to see some of the fears, perhaps, you know, that were causing this behavior, or causing that they were trying to. It was like they wanted you to feel fear because that's what they felt. They wanted you to, you were worried about something. Somebody here was kind of being a little bit, the boundaries were too big is almost what I'm seeing. And they were kind of scary, and they were more than boundaries. They were a little bit pushy, but that can go both ways. It can be reversed too. So it's just some kind of energy is dissipating and dying down, and becoming less frightening. Either you are becoming less frightened, or the situation is becoming less frightening. But that's good, because if the situation is becoming less frightened, then you should be becoming less frightened yourself, right? So it's all, both you and the situation and this other person are letting go a little bit of some boundaries around the heart that may have been too much. Okay, complete of arrows is in your environment. This is King of Swords. Somebody feels a little foolish. I'm not sure about that. This is interesting, because the King of Arrows would normally be like a doctor, a lawyer, an expert, somebody who's very good at the verbiage, and a teacher, or an academic of some kind who's really strong with their thoughts. But these thoughts seem rather focused, but they almost seem to be, they're very focused. There's like a Rudolph element here. I'm trying to figure out if this is Rudolph, a leader, or a clown. I think that's almost the point. Is this a leader or a clown? They're very focused on like this gold ring. They're very focused on their gold ring. And they they almost seem like angry and upset, and like a dark cloud around them. But they, in the middle of all this like seriousness, they kind of look like a joke, or I want to say a legend, or the legend of the joke. And it's under 5 of Earth, so it's reminding me of reindeer games. They wouldn't let Rudolph play any reindeer games. But I would say this is the person. Is this the person that's not letting Rudolph? I don't know. This isn't coming across as an expert. This is coming across as someone who's very focused, but has a lot of emotional baggage, or hidden motives. I guess I'm seeing it a little bit with the secrets card, right? They're both very focused on this glowing circle, this glowing orb. And this one just seems to have, I'm seeing all this black as like unprocessed emotion, unexamined motives. So yeah, they're very smart. They know what they're doing. They're really good at it. But there's this whole other emotional aspect that almost seems neglected here. And this person sort of, and without having processed those emotions or having the understanding of what those emotions are and what their motivations are, this person is, and this is not you, this is you, but this person is like, has, like, they know what they're doing. They're very good at it. But what they don't know is why they're doing it. They don't understand their motivation. They have a lot of shadow self going on. It's hard to admire this person. It's like, this is someone like a judge or a lawyer or someone who really understands how to do something in an intellectual way. But there's so much, it's really hard to respect them because they don't seem to be aware of their effect on other people. They may be depressed. A really smart person who's depressed, who ever heard of that? Pretty common. And so and I don't know what he has in his hands. Or if he has hands, it almost is like, there's just something, this person's just so focused on something that they haven't done emotional work or emotional labor about it. It's just all about the mind. And I can't tell if they're a clown or what's going on here, what they're doing. I can see what they're focused on. I just don't know that they have they just seem a little I think I'm belaboring the point here, but they just seem a little emotionally not fully functioning right now. They can do the job, and they're very focused on something, on getting what they need or getting something. But there's a lot going on in the background that maybe is hidden even from themselves. That was a negative reading. Not everybody of somebody, but it's not really negative. It's just pointing out that there's somebody here that's like really intellectually able to do some things, but emotionally has a lot of unprocessed stuff in there. So to keep that in mind when dealing with someone at this point. So begin of arrows, this is you. So this is student, go back to school, look more closely. And this one always comes to me as a private experience. So someone outside of you is an expert in something. Maybe they're not like the most emotionally mature person you've ever met, but they are an expert. And this is like, well, you need to learn from them. It's like they're an expert in something and they need to move on to like another suit. They need to move on from the arrows to like the cups. They need to figure out some more cup stuff because they clearly haven't done much cups work or emotional stuff in this situation. Perhaps could be very situational too. So begin of arrows, this is you reading up on something, learning about something, examining something more closely. And it always comes into me as private. You're examining. This is about what you are seeing with your own eyes. It's not about what someone else is telling you to see. It's not what someone else is showing you even. It's about what you're seeing. It's very private. It's very personal. It's about you. It's about what you're seeing. It's about you learning about something, examining something, taking a closer look. I think we got begin of arrows or page of swords last week. It was the lady with the glasses taking a closer look at something. And you wanted to, and that's what you're doing. You're taking a closer look at something now. What you had thought to take a closer look at, you're now taking a closer look at. And it's you with your own perception. And it's a learning experience. There's a lot of potential here for application to whatever it is you're learning. There's a lot to apply here. you will be, the more you work on the reading aspect and the learning aspect, the stronger your actions in the real world will be able to be. So, you know, if you're going to lay some tile somewhere, let's say you want to redo your bathroom floor because someone put carpet in it and then somebody else dropped some raisins and then when they were two and stepped on the carpet and dug them in. So now your carpet looks like someone pooped all over it and nobody cleaned it. So carpet shouldn't be in bathrooms anyway. So you're going to like pull that out and you're going to lay tile, and you've decided to lay the world's most complicated slate tile situation. So the more you can read up on how to do this, the better the whole process is going to go. So read it again, watch a video, watch another video, go to the tile store and ask them about what they would recommend and listen to what they would recommend. And the more you do the reading up on that, the easier the better, the stronger you're going to be able to actually implement what it is you're reading and what it is you're processing here. So this is a lot of mental processing. This is looking at things in a new way, looking at things maybe even through new technology, looking at things in a new way, a different perspective, which we did get that last week too, a different perspective, right? The microscope is not our normal perspective. It's a different perspective. And you're learning how to see something from a different perspective, what it is that you're looking at. And the more you can understand that, the stronger you're going to be able to come in. This is what this card is saying to me. The stronger you're going to be able to, the easier the physical implementation of something is going to be. And then we end with the Chariot, going someplace together. Maybe a car. But it is this cooperation with somebody else, right? This cooperation with somebody else. So do your research, and then you're going to be working with this other person. You're going to be cooperating with them, working with them to move something forward. You're going to be doing it together, moving something forward together. There's a lot of with somebody else. This is all about dealing with fears, dealing with secrets, dealing with issues with another person. And how is that all going to work? The Chariot can also be a trip, right? We already got that from the beginning. Just take a trip with somebody, go get away, take a break, take a trip with somebody, but read up on it. Like, don't just be like, oh, that looks like a nice place to go, let's just go there. Like, actually figure out, where you want to go, why you want to go there, what it's going to cost, all of that, just to make the trip or whatever more enjoyable. So if this is a trip, with the Chariot, we have the possibility for a trip. We have the possibility for car issues or moving or a road trip. We also have the possibility of just cooperating with someone on a project to move it forward. And the other possibility is the time machine, where we move forward very quickly and we're suddenly someplace very different than we were. And that is coming in with cooperation. And I think this complete of arrows and this begin of arrows are working together to accomplish something. So this one maybe knows so much. They know a lot. Maybe they don't necessarily have a full, well-rounded personality, but they do have information. So you don't have to like everything about this person in order to work with them. You're just beginning. So you're gonna have to learn from this one. This one's the expert. This is at the top. This is almost like you're pairing up with like the executive of your company and you're like some lowly little new person in the company, and you're being like having to work on a project or something with someone who's like very, very experienced. But you're bringing something here. You're bringing your youth, your open mind, your innocence, your open mind to the situation that they already have very clear ideas on. So, but you're going to have to work together. And it almost seems like an unequally yoked situation here where somebody has way more experience than somebody else, and yet you're being paired up together to move forward together. So but it is moving forward together with somebody, it looks like, just with all the other partnership cards here. And, you want to show up as your best self. And even though you might be a little bit behind on some kind of issue or a little bit playing catch up to this other person and their expertise, but there is a sense of working together, working with somebody on something. And it's not as scary as it once seemed. And it's sort of based on some losses, perhaps. Yeah. Okay. So, got. If you hear a Sasquatch sigh, so this is about loss of faith. It could be about fear, not having faith in a process, not having faith in a little bit of a loss of faith here. Do you not believe in the Sasquatch? Because that makes the Sasquatch sad. And the Sasquatch is a psychic, intuitive being. And when you don't believe in that possibility, when you don't believe in this unlikely mythological possibility, when you don't believe in Rudolph, it gets a little sad, very sad. Please, it's like pray and believe it. You know, pray and don't be like, ugh, dear God, I know you never answer my prayers, but this time, if you could, please bring me something. Or like, please, 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 Jesus, do this for me. These are ways I've heard people pray before. Please, 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 please. And neither of them have any kind of faith to it, that there are miracles, that there are things that can happen outside of our control, outside of the realm of our known universe, which is the Sasquatch. You know, so this is giving me real, like, believe it and you'll see it vibes. Be very open-minded here. And I think that's with you at the beginning of arrows, you can't help but be a little bit open-minded about the possibilities. So be open to the possibilities. Don't doubt. You're making Sasquatch sad by doubting his existence. And then we have uniquely you from the Wild Kuan Yin. The more we are willing to become authentic rather than conventional, the more we will need to eschew conditioning in favor of aliveness. Be willing to run the risk of being so authentic so that you can live from your heart and experience real joy. Yeah, you want to experience real joy. And so living from the heart here. So yeah, make sure that you are leaving space to be completely and utterly yourself here in this relationship. Because even though you might be the beginner and the newbie, you still have a lot to bring. You're being paired up here for a reason. You have something to bring. So don't try to be like the other person, because you can't be. And you wouldn't even want to be. Just be you here. I mean, whoever that is, if you figured out some part of what that is for you. So yeah, don't try to be anybody else. That's the key. All right. Thank you so much for joining me here. Very much appreciate it. Love to you all. And I'll see you next week.